everyone, happy Saturday. I finally have a chance to make a video about my first week as a new teacher at a new school. And we just arrived here Sunday, and my first day of school was Monday. So it was the first time I was getting in my classroom, and everything in there was just what the previous teacher had left, which basically was stacks of books and stacks of manipulatives. So nothing was really organized per se, meaning that I'd have to dig through the bin with bags of manipulatives for kindergarten through 5th grade math. So I definitely have my work cut out for me, as any new teacher can understand that process of getting organized. And so I guess the first two things for me getting focused on is organizing my classroom so that things flow, because I have, as I had previously mentioned, kindergarten through 5th grade, but I have a reading group and then a separate math group for each grade level. And so it's a lot of books, a lot of materials and things to get organized. And then the second thing is having procedures. I know teachers often mention procedures, and if you're a new teacher and you're thinking, okay, what does that mean other than what I read about in a book? And so for elementary, and again, I think I had previously mentioned in earlier videos about how I've mostly taught secondary, 6th through 12th grade social studies. So elementary is definitely a whole different ballgame of procedures, right? Because I don't have to necessarily tell 10th graders to line up against the wall. I guess it depends on your school and whatnot, but for elementary students, especially because I have to go to their homeroom class and pick them up and then come to my classroom and then take them back and get the next class. So it's a lot of moving back and forth. So I definitely need to have a process for lining up when it's time to leave, and then of course when I pick them up, lining up as well. And as you know, you always have to get a head count for all of the kids, make sure that you have the number of students that are supposed to be moving from one place to the next, to make sure you don't lose any wanderers to like the water fountain or to the bathroom. So those are the two main things that I have tried to focus on in my first week, and probably going into this next week, because I still have a lot of materials to get organized, just to make it easier for each class. And the thing is that I don't really have time in between. All of the classes are just back to back to back to back the whole day. So if I do any preparation, it has to be before school or after school. And so that's another thing I know that has come up for teachers, is how do you get all of your work done within your contracted hours? That has definitely been a struggle. And I think that for me, as long as you make a list, and I've seen people talk about lists and power lists, and so you pick those things that are the most important to get done for the next day, and then you move on so that you can actually have a life with your family. So those are the things that I've worked on this week for my first week as a new teacher in a new school. I hope this helps you. Hi everyone, I'm super excited. This is my 4th day at my new school. So again, a new teacher after our move, and I love it. The company I work for provides the curriculum. However, I still have to prep the lesson. There is still some preparation. But I have kindergarten through 5th grade reading and math. So that means preparing a kindergarten through 5th grade reading lesson and a math lesson for each grade level. So it is a lot to figure out logistically, because I have to go pick them up, bring them to my class, take them back to their class and whatnot. So it's a lot of walking, but I absolutely love it. And I'm going to be sharing some tips later on of what I learned my first week again as a new teacher. So stay tuned. I'm in the process of a new setup since we moved, so the lighting is a little weird and different, but what I wanted to quickly do is show you just a few things that I purchased, because I know new teachers are always asking, what are the must-haves in your classroom? And so really what I had recommended previously was that you go into the classroom, see what there is first, ask other teachers if they have things that they're looking to give away, and see if you can use that and repurpose it in your classroom. But for me, without trying to break the bank, obviously you go to your closest dollar store if you have one. I went to Dollar Tree today on this Saturday of a 3-day weekend, but I mean, you do what you can when you can. And I just picked up a couple of things because Valentine's Day is coming up. So I just picked up some hearts. It's a multicolored packet. It's got red, pink, and purple hearts. So I'll put that up in my classroom, and then this little tinsel garland. So you can see, again, this is from the Dollar Tree store. So each of these items are $1.25. Typically I would get composition books cheaper than $1.25, but for today, I just went ahead and picked this one up. I do prefer the hardcover composition books, just because, the other composition books, if they get wet, then they can fall apart a little easier. So that's why I got this. Otherwise, I usually try to get a pack of it on Amazon. The other thing too is I had previously mentioned organizing the workbooks for each of my classes, right? So I have reading and math for each of the grade levels. So I picked up a bunch of baskets. I just picked up 10 just to get started. And of course, just making sure that it's the right size for whatever you're using. So in my case, it's workbooks. So that I can have them organized. And this way, that when I have my procedures in place and I have my class helper for each class, it's easier for them to just grab the basket, pick up the workbooks, and when it's time to put them away. And as I had mentioned, because each class is maybe somewhere between 30 and 40 minutes, so it's not a lot of time, and I need them, and as I mentioned, I don't have time in between. Typically I would like to have things ready to go if I even had 5 minutes in between classes, which I don't, because I have to go pick up and drop off the kids. So the kids come in, there's an area where the baskets will be laid out, and my class helper can go and pick that up. Speaking of which, I went and I got poster board. Typically I like to have my agenda up on the board, but because I have different grade levels and classes, I have to prep this ahead of time. So what I will use the poster board for, which the poster board was actually 79 cents, so it was not $1.25, which was fantastic. I purchased 3 for now. And what I will do is I'll have each grade level. What I have are these little Velcro dots that I'll put on the poster board, and I'll have the printed agenda items. It's easy for me to take off and put back on throughout the week. And that's just simply because I have limited room on my chalkboard. Yes, I have a chalkboard, not a whiteboard. That's so weird. But I have a chalkboard, and I like to have my students go to the chalkboard to do some problems on the board. I also have the little mini whiteboards, but I try not to use that too much because of the markers, and having to replace markers is much more expensive than chalk. So for right now, I have them go to the chalkboard. So that's why I have to use a poster board for my agenda for each class. And I'll probably put one grade level on one side and another grade level on the back. It just makes it easier to do the flipperooski. And then also the walls are brick, so I can't staple anything to it. But my bulletin boards, I have posters that I need for my lessons, so that's also limited too. And one whole wall is windows, so that also kind of limits what I can put up. I mean, I can put things up, but I really don't like to obstruct the light. I must have light in my classroom. So that's why, you just got to think of things that you can use or for multi-purposes to conserve space. And a lot of times teachers just have to be creative in your classroom. So that is the poster board, and then of course tissue, because a lot of kids are sick and they're sniffling. So the school does not provide tissue. If your school does, that's awesome. And then I picked up just some disinfectant wipes. I almost said Clorox wipes. I did buy some Clorox wipes from Walmart, but I first try to use these and then go to my Clorox wipes, because I like to use my Clorox wipes at home. So these are just a few items that I picked up from the dollar store. You know, when you think about how much money does a teacher spend in their classroom, and it will be hundreds for sure. I mean, just starting off, total I spent today at the dollar store is $23.94, of course, minus the pack of M&Ms that I bought. This is a snack for me. What else? I also have a pack of Amazon stamps that I use to stamp the kids' work. It just helps them stay motivated and on track, because I'm an intervention teacher, so they don't get grades. So to keep them motivated to accomplish their assignment or task, I have these little stamps. And a lot of times, just for differentiation, if you have a student that finishes early, I will give them the task of stamping the student's workbook after I have checked it. Then they can stamp it. So that's one, or I should say another thing that I purchased on Amazon. Also, little stickers. The kids love to get something, so I bought these water bottle stickers on Amazon. It was a pack of 300, and my husband and I went through and picked out all the ones that were inappropriate. The kids absolutely love that, and so that was just for this first week. Obviously, I can't be spending that kind of money on stickers. It was just fun for our first meeting to give them stickers for doing their reading and doing their math assignments. 3 things that I purchased on Amazon: the stamps, the stickers, and the third thing are little raffle tickets. So moving in to my second week this week with them, I did buy another pack of 300 stickers. I think I'm going to make those my special helper stickers that I'm going to give students, but they will now be able to earn a raffle ticket. And then with a raffle ticket, they'll be able to get some goodies maybe once every 2 weeks. Just depends on how often you want to do something. You could do points, you could do treats, and just be mindful of treats that have ingredients that kids might be allergic to, like peanut butter or just nuts, strawberries. Some kids might be gluten or, you know, lactose intolerant. So just being mindful of those things. Usually your school has protocol about that. But that's just some tips going into my second week. Again, teachers are always working on the weekend. My husband is very patient, helping me while I'm working on things for school. So, for example, he wanted to watch Full Metal Jousting, and he sat next to me while we were watching it together. And while I was working on my reports and spreadsheets and getting everything organized for my lessons, and that was our Friday night date. So I'm very grateful for my husband. He's so understanding as I'm trying to get acclimated and situated in my new school. Now, typically, if I were hired during the summer, I would have summertime, right? Because usually teachers report like a week or 2 before school starts, and you have all of that time to get ready in your classroom. I did not have that, as I just got hired right before Christmas, and then, you know, arrived Sunday, started Monday. So I'm now trying to play catch up in my classroom, but it's all good. Gonna get it done. No worries. You just take one thing at a time, and you just have to invest the time now. Just invest the time now to get organized so that the rest of your days and weeks go smoother. I hope these tips work for you, and hopefully you were able to pick up something that you can use in your classroom. I'll do another video of the before and after so that you can see the items that I showed you and how I'm using them in my classroom. And remember, you got this. If you like this video and it is helpful, go ahead and click subscribe, like the video, and don't forget to click the notification bell so you don't miss any upcoming videos. Go ahead and leave me a comment below if there's something that you've done that has helped you in getting organized in your new classroom. And until then, we'll see you next time.